Hello, internet friends. Welcome back once again, and thank you all so much for joining me here today. The training footage that you're going to be watching is a mix of the last few sessions from last week. It was particularly cold in the garage, and my little heater keeps punking out on me, so you're going to see me bundled up in some funny ways. I don't recommend bench pressing with gloves, but when your hands keep sticking to the bar, I'm trying to make the most of my situation and what's available to me. So that's what's going on there. And before I jump directly into the topic, I do want to ask you guys or let you guys know that I am looking for a few more clients to take on. Financially, I've been battling a couple of setbacks in terms of my budget, with my computer crapping out, with my car crapping out, and me having to make some unforeseen financial variations to what I planned in my budget. And so instead of asking for handouts or for help, I'm asking for more work, and the work I do is coaching. So if you're interested in both helping me out and hopefully helping yourself out in moving towards your powerlifting goals, please check out the links down in the description and see if that's something that you're interested in. So today, the topic that we're going to be discussing is something that kind of coincides with the trend of some of the topics we've been talking about in the more recent videos, and the initial discussion topic title, I guess, the way that I would phrase it may seem a little bit counterintuitive, but you stick with me on this. We're gonna go into it, and it's the idea that relying on confidence is overrated. And that is something that doesn't really seem to naturally mesh with most people's understanding of what they're doing. But what I'm really trying to get to with that idea is how someone's reliance on being confident in their ability to do something can limit their initiation potential. It limits your ability to start something if you have to wait for the self-belief that you can actually follow through with it. One of the quotes that a lot of people point to in the importance on confidence, the importance on self-belief, is that those who say that they can and those who say that they can't are both usually right. And I think that is a helpful idea because it encourages a positive mindset and a positive outlook to encourage you to pursue that self-belief. But you can't convince yourself of something that isn't true. If you don't actually believe in your ability to do something, you can't really manufacture that artificially. But I have something that is a piece of information or maybe a revelation for you that may be helpful, and that's your capacity to perform something, your capability to do a thing is not dependent on your belief that you can do that thing. And a couple of examples would be if you go into a workout not feeling particularly great, you have low expectations, and then you end up surprising yourself. You're able to perform higher than you expected. You were lacking confidence in your ability to perform on that day, and you exceeded your expectations. That is a pretty universally experienced example of someone being able to unlink their capability from their confidence. And so I'm not saying that confidence isn't a useful tool. I would equate confidence and motivation to being very similar things, where having it is something that you can use and it can drive growth because it makes it easier to be willing to do the work. But coming back to that initial quote of those who say they can and those who say they can't are both usually right, what that's really talking about is someone's initiative. If you believe that you can do something, you are much more likely to take steps towards trying to accomplish that goal. Where if you are saying that you can't do something, you're taking a kind of a negative headspace towards that goal. Most of the time, those people are not willing to start working for it. They don't see it as being worth the time and effort if they're not going to reach the goal anyway. And what I'm trying to get across, and something that I've been trying to embody for myself as well as encourage in my own athletes and in others that I talk to about this, is there are going to be points of time where you're lacking the motivation, you're lacking the confidence, but that doesn't mean that you cannot still overcome those mental states and still rely on the work that you've put in. If you have prepared for something, whether or not you believe that you can do it doesn't actually affect your capability of doing it. You can psych yourself out and start making mistakes, but that is not related to the actual preparation. That's something that comes with mental resilience and being able to improve your consistency through working on the mental state that you kind of are getting conditioned to put yourself in to perform at the highest level on a consistent basis. But lacking that confidence is not the end-all be-all. And so I guess I'm trying to encourage you, if you don't feel like you are in a place right now where you're particularly motivated or you're particularly confident that you're going to be able to reach your goals, where you have some self-doubt, where you feel like you're a little bit behind on your own expectations and things don't feel like they're going the right way and they don't feel like you're going to make it, so to speak, I would encourage you to buy into this understanding that that's okay to be in that headspace for some time, and recognize that that is not the determining factor to whether you will or will not be able to actually reach the outcome that you're working towards. I think that the Dunning Kruger effect is a very effective way of kind of illustrating this, and it's the idea that most of the time people who have a high capacity or ability in an area will rate their understanding of something or their ability at a lower level than someone who has a much lower capability in that same field. A lot of the time, the better you get, and I've mentioned this probably ad nauseum over the 1,000 videos that I've done on my channel, but the better you get at something, the harder you have to work and the more fine-tuned your approach has to become to continue getting better, because it doesn't just expand exponentially. It gets exponentially harder as you get it exponentially closer to perfecting something, because once you get to a super high level, it just, everything has to get cleaned up to keep making progress. And those are usually the times where you start to lose confidence in your ability to keep growing. You start to lose the motivation because you're not seeing the progress as quickly. You're not able to relate it to the future. And a lot of the time, you're usually a little bit older at this point, and we start to buy in a little bit more to the realism of a situation, and we become less idealistic and optimistic about things because you see it start to slow down. You start to expect that to be the process because for the most part, that is a realistic approach. However, you also can benefit from having the time that you've put in produce some sort of result, so that you become less reliant on the state of being absolutely confident. Getting comfortable with just performing regardless of how you feel motivated-wise or confidence-wise can be a powerful tool, and is something that once you've done it a time or two, you get better at it. It's a trainable skill. And so I guess I'm just trying to reach out to anybody right now who is feeling like they're in a bit of a dip, a low point. It's really easy to be motivated and confident when things are going well, but when you have a dip in your performance, when your expectations aren't matching up with your reality, I encourage you to just keep going, to not stop and rely on confidence. And if you have something new that you're starting to work towards or that you want to work towards, I encourage you to go for that and make the choices that you can make right now in the moment to move you towards that outcome, instead of waiting for the right moment where you feel confident that it's going to work. Because most of the time, that perfect moment is not going to come, but you can create ideal scenarios and ideal moments by just simply putting in the effort right now. Pick whatever it is that you can do in this moment to move you closer to your goal. Don't wait to rely on the self-belief that you can actually follow through with everything, but just start it. And usually that will build up some of that momentum, and then you can start to use some of the tool that is confidence without becoming reliant on it to start the momentum moving forward. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you found it helpful. And if you have some other thoughts on that, go ahead and put those down in the comment section down below. If you disagree, that's totally fine too. This is just something that I have been mulling over in my own mind, and it has been helping me find purpose in what I'm doing regardless of how I feel on the day. And I think that's a very powerful tool for self-improvement, and that's really what I'm trying to convey. So thank you all once again, and I will talk to you very soon. Wherever you're at, I hope you have a great day. Bye.